are companies getting more or less ambitious before exit? Do you think they may be selling out at the wrong stage?
It's hard to say without knowing what's driving the decision to exit, or at least consider an exit. I think, is it an unsolicited approach that comes along that potentially is an offer too good to refuse? So I think without knowing the circumstances of each individual exit, it's hard to say whether or not you could do better. I think what's really important for any business, regardless of whether they're actively considering exit, is to make sure that they're discussing with their shareholder base what their exit plans are, really from the get-go. And that goes back to the earlier point on investability, and by making sure you're having an engaged and honest and open discussion at the point of investment around what your own personal plans as the founder of the business, or founders, and make sure that there's consensus on that. Ultimately, there will be a difference in view in terms of the ongoing roles of an investor versus a founder. The assumption is that the founder will probably stay on for a period of time post exit, and therefore may need to take that into account when they're thinking about the timing of that exit. It's one thing to say, okay, well, I'd quite like to be able to sell my business at this point, but then if you're going to remain with that business for 2, 3, maybe longer years beyond, then you may actually end up accelerating that exit to cover that handover period, whereas that clearly isn't the case for the investor who will be exiting hard at the point of the deal. So I think just to recap, founders and management teams should absolutely be discussing this as as part of the investment raise process, and also keeping it live. Everybody's plans can change as we've seen over the last 12 months, and just making sure that you're keeping it maybe not as a standing agenda item, but at least having that conversation around exit plans, maybe every 6 months around the board table.